What is up, fragrance family out there? Thanks for joining me here on my channel, Steven Sturgey or Sturgill. Looking yet again, guys, at my favorite scent in perfumery, and that is tobacco, tabac. Excuse me if wearing the 3D shades. My real glasses are broken. I've got really dark bags under my eyes from not sleeping. And I've also had killer allergies for the last couple of weeks on and off. And the combination does not make me look very cinematic on screen. So apologies to all. But we'll also just consider that this scent is quite three-dimensional. Haha. It's a 3D type of scent. What am I talking about? I'm talking about something I've been aching to get my nose on for the better part of a full year, if not longer. And that is, this just came in the mail a couple days ago from Italia, Italy, from Hilde Soliani. And you can see her sticker there. Comes in this nice little box with a cloth-like cardboard. And the bottle would be in there, except for the bottle is not in there because I took it out and reapplied to spray. So this is the bottle. It is Bell'Antonio Hilde Soliani Profumo Teatro Olfattivo Parma '08. So the olfactive theater, Parma. So that's the bottle. You get her name on the cap. Pretty standard. These bottles are fairly standard for aftermarket perfumery. That is, do-it-yourselfers. This is our really, really small house production lines where they either can't afford beautiful, fancy, luxurious bottles, or simply don't want to throw that much money into those items because it really, really eats up a huge chunk of your working capital. Sprayer is quite nice and it really does the job. Now I've already applied here, but I'll go ahead and give one more. This beautiful mister for sure. And that will conclude the presentation of the bottle. Yeah, so this is primarily a tobacco coffee scent. So for you guys out there that like coffee and or love or like tobacco, this could be one of your absolute favorite go-to scents without a shadow of a doubt. Coffee in here for me, guys, is it's not so much the resinous, like I just made a cup of espresso. It's more of the actual coffee bean smell, or at least fresh, semi-fresh ground powder that used to be a bean, or half beans and half powder. I don't get much actual, like, here's my cup of espresso or my cup of Joe, as we used to say in America. In America. Uh, but I will say that other notes that may or may not be in here to my nose, because they only list at Fragrantica and even at her Italian website. You can go to Hilde Soliani, and I'll throw a little bonus clue out here in a second for you guys to stay on to the end. It may save you a few dollars if you choose to purchase this wonderful concoction. Now, I will say that to my nose, I think probably there's a little bit of light, very clean, what's commonly referred to as white musk in here. Whether or not it's white is irrelevant. I think there's a little musk in here, but I think it's way, way dialed, way down, and it's very mild. I think it's just kind of doing its thing in the base, or somewhere close to the base. My guess would be the base. If it's not the base, it's definitely the heart. Again, coffee, obviously, really nice espresso bean type feel. It's a little bit dry, it's aromatic, and it's blending with that tobacco, which to me, some people have said cigarette. I could see that if it's an Italian cigarette, maybe. It's just a good generic uh, aromatic semi-strong tobacco. That's all it is. It's great quality. It's not overly resinous. I would say it skews more to the dry side. I'm not saying it's all dry. There's a little bit of resinous quality going on there, but it's primarily drier more so than not, if that makes sense. I would also think maybe there's just a tiny, tiny dose of vanilla in here. Not even to the degree that you can readily smell it. I just think it's in there. You can kind of pick up on some lightly creamy vanillic aspects. Now, by all means, it may not. I mean, actual vanilla may or may not be in here. It could be something else like tonka. Done right, there's also other kinds of nuts that, if done right, they can give off a vanillic aspect. So whatever else is in here, I think it's something else giving some type of light vanilla creamy aspect, along with a little bit of musk. I also think there may be just the tiniest portion of either cinnamon and or nutmeg. It's not prominent, it's not on the top. It's just something about the overall smell as you get into it and let it just sort of pour over your olfactive brain, if you will. And I could be wrong. Again, these are just my thoughts, just my opinions. At any rate, yeah, it's definitely primarily, certainly about the tobacco and the coffee. Again, the coffee to me is more of the coffee bean and a little bit of the fresh ground. Maybe 10% of coffee, brewed coffee in a cup. I wouldn't go higher than that, at least not to this nose. That's going to do it, guys. This is a wonderfully sensuous scent that I think probably can be worn year-round with a little bit of safety. If you just don't go crazy with the sprayer. It's not an overly heavy scent, but if you go trigger happy, I can really see you. Not that the scent is offensive, but yeah, you still don't want to make yourself smelled by the entire room. So I would say 3 to 5 sprays max, and you may just want to start with 2 and see how it goes. Longevity good, not as great as I kind of expect it to be. Nothing bad for sure. I got about 5 to 6 hours out of it realistically, which is pretty darn good. I'm not one of these guys that says it has to be 8 to 9 hours or how dare you. No, I got about 5 to 6 hours, and projection, I would say really pretty decent for the first hour to hour and a half, and then I could still easily smell it past that point, but it was much more of a what they call an intimate scent, or a scent bubble, and that scent bubble kind of stayed maybe like right into this range for the next 2 to 3.5 hours. And after that, it died down to almost a skin scent, albeit not one of these vapid light skin scents where you barely detect anything. I mean, I could still really smell it on skin, right? It just wasn't effusing actively at that point. But I mean, by all means, if you're like a nut that just must have it last all day and all night, I guess take a decant or whatever, or just go extra heavy and go on your clothes, and that would solve that. Anyways, that is going to do it, guys. I hope you like it. Get your nose, please, on the house of wonderful Miss Hilde Soliani. She was kind enough to help me out on my order. My order. Okay, getting back to that little tidbit. If you stayed here this long, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out. Little tip. If you decide on buying this fragrance, and I'm not trying to drive business away from U.S. distributors like the wonderful House of Lucky Scent. I mean, not house, but, well, I guess they are a house, but mostly their distributor, reseller. Lucky Scent or other famous U.S.-based niche perfumery retail outlets. But their price is $160, and if you buy them in euros straight off Hilde Soliani's website, you'll save yourself $15. Yes, you'll actually, when you do the what do you call it? The transfer, whatever it is, when you switch the currency, currency exchange. The going rate right now would mean you'd be spending US $145, saving $15, and she ships for free. She ships for free. Now, the only bad thing about that, guys, is often, and I love Italia, I love Italians, I love the country. I am not trying to throw shade to the wonderful Correo postal service of Italy, and I'm part Italian, it's very near and dear to me. It's part of my DNA. But they have one of the worst postal services of the more developed European countries, or of any country for that matter, in the world. I can't think of too many that would be much worse than Italy's postal service. It can be great, and you might get your product in a week, or it can suck donkey balls, and you could get it like I did in a freaking month. I waited literally a month to get this. I don't like waiting a month to get anything. But it is what it is. Like I said, sometimes they're really good, and sometimes they're really, really slow. And having said that, I want to make it clear that I'm not just throwing shade at the Italian postal service. It's not always them. I want to make that crystal clear. What happens is products often get held up in Italian customs, and their customs guys, they can be let us say very old fashioned and sticklers. And I mean, that's the impression I get, that what is this? I'm holding this. I'm holding it for another month. I'm checking it out, making sure there's no banana on her. Is there some poison in her? Is there? No, I don't know what it is, guys. But Italian customs officials, if you're watching this video and you're watching my little review, por favore, please let the product come faster to the America and to the other countries around the world, and we can love you more, huh? So that's my cheesy little accent, and just my little spiel about going and dealing with Italian postal service, where it hits the customs and you may or may not get your product in a timely fashion. Just throwing that out there. So if you want to save $15 and wait a month, you can buy from her website and put some money straight into her lovely pocket or purse. Or you can probably do the saner thing and end up buying from wherever it is that you are, buying a local niche perfumery and getting it in a few days. So you do the math on that. Otherwise, guys, that's it. We're done. Tune in soon. I'll have an all new review with another scent. If you like, please subscribe and click that campana. That means bell in Spanish, for future updates. Otherwise, you will not know when I'm dropping new content. Love you guys. Peace out.